Welcome to Just a Farm Wife with your host, Tara Emerson. Tara is a farm wife, photographer, mom, podcaster, author, public speaker, and much more. On this podcast, Tara takes listeners on a journey through all aspects of life and how we can create future growth. This podcast helps to empower women to believe they are more than the labeling that society hands them. And remember, you are never just in anything.
Hello and welcome to Just a Farm Wife podcast. I'm your host, Tara Emerson, and today I have with me Steph Johnson. She has been involved with the Miss North Dakota Scholarship Organization since before she was even born, her mother working with the state board of directors during her pregnancy. She made her official North Dakota stage debut in 1994 when she was a Miss North Dakota little sister herself at 8 years old, and she has been hooked ever since. Over the last 20 years, Steph has found herself involved in every aspect of the Miss North Dakota organization, from little sister to Miss North Dakota dancer, a teen title holder, a Miss title holder, including 4 years in a row as a top 10 finalist, 3 years as the high score talent winner, a top 5 finalist, as well as earning countless other scholarship dollars totaling over $10,000. Following her appearances on stage, Steph has become the local co-director for the Miss Williston organization and then moved to her current role in 2016, a member of the Miss North Dakota Board of Directors, the Teen State Organization Director, and the co-producer of the state competition held every June in Williston. Behind the scenes is where Steph feels the most at home, and she takes great care and pride in producing the state pageant each year, honoring the traditions of those who worked so hard to establish the great legacy of the Miss North Dakota organization's 76-year history. Well, welcome, Steph. You have quite an amazing list of accomplishments that apparently I can't even wrap my mouth around.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Since I started this podcast, I have actually wanted to interview you because I've watched you at the state pageant. I guess we should start there. Steph and I met last year at the North Dakota State Pageant in Williston. I had 2 girls that were just little sisters. So we were just starting out our first year, and Steph has a great way of getting to know everybody in the pageant. I don't know how she does it, but she does. And then we got to know her a little bit better this year since my older daughter was able to compete in the teen portion of the pageant, and Steph is the aren't you the producer for the teen? Or the director for the teen?
Yes. So my role within the organization is I'm on the state board of directors, and I am in charge of the teen organization, which means I basically, once we crown our new state teen title holder, I help in preparations for national competition, just planning the year ahead, helping with appearances. And then I'm also the co-producer for the state production, which is a pretty big task that we take on. And we always want this to be, a high quality production. We want to make sure that everybody gets featured and everyone feels positive. And we want to make sure that it's a really entertaining pageant that people just love to come back year after year and watch.
Well, I have only been a part of this for 2 years and been to the state pageant 2 years. And the production value is really incredible. You would never expect that out of our little North Dakota pageant. When you attend, you would think that there are 50 to 100 girls competing in this large, well thought out and organized production. There's so many different aspects to it. Well, for one, I don't think people understand.
Absolutely.
And Steph's voice is always gone by the end of the week. Right. But it's because she's making every single decision about the placement of every single person on stage and off stage.
Right. And I think because this year, for example, between our little sisters to our Miss, there were 65 young women joining us. And to an audience member, they're just there to watch their girl and it's fun. But there's 65 people putting themselves on stage, being brave enough to be on stage. And we want to make sure every single person in the audience there to watch every single one of those girls gets to see their girl and gets to support them, and that the girls on stage get to feel that support, but also feel special, because it does take a lot of bravery to put yourself out there, especially in something like a pageant. And having that really fun experience of a big time production is something that just adds to their experience, I guess, adds to making them feel like this is really important what they're doing and that they should feel really proud of what they're doing.
Right. Well, and the production value adds to the investment of the audience, right?
Correct.
The audience gets
We
invested in all of the girls.
Mhm.
Like when I attend, I'm not just there for my kids anymore. You are there for every single one of them. You're like, oh, yes. Look at how
it's like
great
you
so-and-so
build a
did.
little, like let's say, maybe one summer you competed with a local competition in Fargo and all the girls from Little Sister to Teen to Miss in that year that were Fargo title holders, that's kind of like your people and you get really close to them and then you go to the state competition and you meet everybody and you get close to everybody. And then maybe the next year you do a local in Minot and you get close to your Minot local family. And that doesn't mean you're still not close to your Fargo local family, but it just kind of broadens the group of people that you're close with. And it really does make it like everyone is here to support each other and everyone has little ties to each other, to see girls who were like a little sister and now they're a teen. And now maybe when they were a little sister, their Miss mentor is still there. And they're like, oh, this is my little sister. And now she's a teen title holder. And look how proud I am. And we're all growing through this organization as we age, but we're still there for each other. And we're still supporting each other.
Right. Yes. And that's exactly what happened with my daughter, Ellie. Last year, she was the teen title holder and my daughter was the little sister. And they have gotten to know each other over the year. And even from our local pageant, our Miss that we had, Hannah Ripplinger, Hannah and Audrey got so close over the year because she was just in Grand Forks and we're, an hour north of that. And so we got to see her all the time and they got to do community service events together. And these are the girls that I want my girls to look up to.
Exactly.
They're doing really amazing things. One way that I would describe your production, the production, and even doing a pageant itself, the way I explain it to everybody is it's Barbie themed self-worth summer camp.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love that. Yes, every year we try to kind of base our state competition on a theme. And this year I had asked our state title holders, Sydney and Ellie, are you more like a pink Barbie girl? Are you kind of like a purple Taylor Swift girl? I could see myself going in a few directions with this. And they both immediately were like, we're pink Barbie girls, let's go.
Yeah.
And I just found that so relevant because we were able to use the tagline of she's everything, which kind of went along with, the Barbie movie. But we were able to use that as a way because every girl is different. Every young woman is an individual and every individual is important and has something different to bring to the table. And we're not trying to be like a stereotypical Barbie. We're not trying to be a stereotypical pageant girl. And a lot of times when people see pageant, they get kind of a one-track mind of what they think a pageant is or what they think girls who compete in pageants are. And so the theme just really worked well together to be promoting the fact that everyone's an individual and everyone has more to them than we might see. Plus, I love everything that's pink and I love everything that sparkles, no matter how old I get. That never changes. So I was really excited just to have a whole week of all the pink, and there was a disco ball and there were rollerblades that lit up, and we always have great people come in to work on our shows who do special effects lighting and put the big screen up on stage. And so it was just so much fun. I loved it.
I agree. I loved every minute of it and I was just watching. It was so fun. And it was so fun to see all the adults get into the themes. I know my daughter is really looking forward to whatever theme you decide next year.
Oh, I know. And sometimes it's like, how do I get one that's even cooler than last year? But
right.
We always seem to find a way. Maybe to not make it better, but to make it different and still just as exciting. So the Miss North Dakota board is all volunteer. And we have a large group of people who come back every year who are volunteers. And most of my backstage crew are my guys. I call them my guys. They've been working with Miss North Dakota since the 80s. And so they're kind of getting over building the sets or hanging the lights. So we've got some new younger guys coming in, but I got them all the I Am Knuff, the Ken t-shirts. And
Yes.
some of them hadn't seen the movie, so they were like, this doesn't make sense. I don't understand why this is funny. But then they were wearing these t-shirts and all the Forever Miss North Dakotas and the girls, and they were all like, oh my gosh, you're the Kens, you're the Kens. And they sure ate that up. They loved it.
I
So
bet.
even our volunteers get that special Barbie-themed treatment this year.
Right. No, they are so special. And I know the kids appreciate them so much.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So I did want to ask you, how do you feel that the Miss North Dakota organization is different from other pageants? I know most people don't realize that there is a large scope of different types of pageants. And
Correct.
Miss North Dakota organization is not in the same system as Miss North Dakota USA. And then there's Miss Agriculture. There's all of these different pageants, and they're all set to different standards.
I completely agree with what you're saying there. There's so many different systems. And sometimes what we'll run into is, oh, I'm trying to book an appearance for Miss North Dakota. Oh, well, we've already had Miss North Dakota here. But it might have been Miss North Dakota International or Miss North Dakota USA. And
Right.
so we are really, I feel, pushing with our social media. Miss America has sort of changed up some of the language they use and call Miss America now more of a brand ambassador. And I think brand recognition is something that's so on topic and on trend these days. So we really are working to push the brand of the Miss North Dakota organization as it relates to Miss America. Most of the time when you're talking to people and you get to the part where you say, we are associated with the Miss America pageant, then it kind of can start to click for people. But there are so many different systems, and I encourage all participation, and I think every system has something to bring to the table. There are some where you can simply sign up and say, I want to go to this national competition. And they say, okay, we are going to assign you the title of Miss North Dakota for their system.
Mm-hmm.
So that can get to be confusing, whereas, their goal is maybe to receive this state title and then go on to a national competition and compete there. And that's where the majority of their competition is coming from, as on a national level.
Sure.
For the Miss North Dakota organization, what sets us apart, obviously, is that we do have the talent competition. That's the biggest, that's the main one, is that talent is a hefty part of that score, and we're the only competition in North Dakota that has that aspect leading to a national.
Sure. So one question that I see the most is people have a hard time differentiating between Miss America organization and Miss America USA.
Right. And I think the biggest determining factor with that is you can see the goal of what Miss America wants their title holder to be versus the goal of what Miss USA wants their title holder to be. Miss USA is a wonderful organization, and I feel they kind of push more into that brand model type of a vibe. However, they are rooted in intelligence as well.
Mm-hmm.
And with Miss America, it's such a tradition. It's such a tradition that dates back to, the Boardwalk of Atlantic City as a swimsuit competition in the 20s. And
right, because this is
but
the
that
oldest, right? This is the
correct.
oldest.
Yeah. The other big thing is the amount of scholarship dollars. The amount of what you're winning is scholarships. What you're winning is college tuition, essentially. The
Right.
teen program partnered at a national level with universities across the country.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those partnerships is the University of Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And every single girl who wins a state competition, once they step foot on the national stage, that's the requirement, they are given the opportunity to have a 4-year presidential scholarship to the University of Alabama, which is essentially, all of your tuition for 4 years for your classes.
Right.
So we have had 2 state title holders take advantage of that and have had 2 girls attend the University of Alabama, which is probably not an opportunity that they would have even thought was possible for them. And these girls then, they take advantage of this opportunity. They're going to University of Alabama, and who do they see when they get there but their classmates from Miss America's teen that year or Miss America that year? That's their roommates. It's this connection of this network of, I guess, pageant girls, if you want to call it, who are all down in Alabama receiving essentially free tuition for their classes to study things and to take advantage of opportunities that might not have come their way.
Right. One thing everybody asks me is why University of Alabama?
I'm really not sure. I know it started about 5 or 6 years ago, and they made this announcement at a national competition. The national competition typically for teens has always taken place in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
We had one year where we went to Dallas, Texas, but all the other years it's been in Orlando. And it was just a partnering university. There's several others, Hollins University. There is some chiropractic schools. There's some dental schools that offer scholarships as well. But I think the Alabama one is the one that gets the most attention.
Sure.
With Miss, a lot of the times the scholarships are going to their grad school work, or they're going to, they're going to go work on their master's, or maybe they've graduated and they have student loan debt. Their scholarships are going to help them with that.
Sure. That's really amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's like you've spent all this time working really hard to get your degree, and you graduate and you're working in your chosen field and being successful and being a professional young woman, but you still have the student loan debt. And Miss America comes in and offers scholarships for your talents, for your brain, for your intelligence that you can put towards your student loan debt. So you're still working in your chosen field. You're still being successful. And it just takes a little bit of that edge off of that burden so that young women can be 23 out in the world working towards their careers.
Right. And that makes a huge difference for women who, this is essentially just trying to help with the gender gap, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And even too, I think a lot of times now when you're going out into the workforce, you do have to kind of start and work your way up. So maybe when you are starting, your salary and your benefits, they're probably not as high as as you work your way up the ladder in your chosen career. So being able to still work in a job or a career path that is your dream, and not having to worry so much about how much money am I going to make because I have to pay my student loan debts. Instead, you're thinking, this is where I want to go in my life. This is the career I want to become successful in. If I have to start in a lower position to work my way up, which I believe is important as well, then I'm going to be given a little bit more freedom to do so, because I'm not going to be worrying about having to have maybe 2 or 3 extra jobs on the side, or just an extra job on the side. I'm able to have that extra help paying off student loans or paying off tuition so that I can pursue my dreams and not have to put my dreams kind of on hold in a way to just work to make money. If that makes sense, how I'm trying to describe that.
Yes, it does. In this organization, you do not need to be just a state title holder for teen or miss in order to receive scholarships.
Correct. So we have some local competitions throughout the state. And when you compete in a local competition, those also have scholarship opportunities. And those are set by the local committee. Maybe it's in a smaller community, what that community is able to donate or to fundraise or to just raise for their organization. That's where, a local title holder will do a minimum or maximum scholarship for each title, teen through miss. When you get to state, even if you do not win the state title, everybody gets some form of scholarship just for competing at state.
Mm-hmm.
The minimum scholarship that was given for a Miss North Dakota delegate just for competing was $1,000. So every single Miss delegate immediately received $1,000 in a scholarship. To earn additional scholarships, you could be a high score interview winner. You could be a high score talent winner. You could be a non-finalist high score talent winner. We also have a big list of applied scholarships where those aren't based on your onstage performance. Those are based on, your resume or an essay you may turn in. And a lot of those are career related. We have a scholarship for girls in education. We have a scholarship for girls in STEM, scholarship for girls working at communication degrees, business degrees. So we really try to make sure we're hitting all the different areas that we can.
Yeah.
With our talent scholarships, we have the highest score dancer, we have the highest score vocalist, highest score theatrical talent, highest score instrumental talent. So we're really trying to make sure we can get everybody as much scholarship opportunity. And it's just up to the girls to seize that opportunity.
Right. To go after it and to
Yep.
realize that you're worthy enough to keep receiving these and to keep going.
Right. Another large part of the scholarships that we do, we call them in-kind scholarships. And those are specific to colleges across and universities across the state. So maybe, Williston State College will say all delegates competing will receive a $1,000 applied scholarship. So if there was a delegate who attended Williston State, there's an extra $1,000 she can apply for. I might not be quoting that exactly correct.
Right.
So,
well, and I would imagine it changes every year. Yeah.
Right.
No, I
And then
understand.
we've been able to partner with the majority of the universities in the state of North Dakota to at
that's
least
cool.
offer some sort of an in-kind scholarship. So maybe not, everyone's not going to attend NDSU,
Right.
but for those who do attend NDSU, if we are able to partner with them, that's how we can work with in-kind scholarships. So our goal there too is to make sure we do connect with all of our state universities and colleges, because, just as amazing as receiving a scholarship to Alabama is, we also think North Dakota has really great, really, really great schools. And we love for our young people to stay in the state of North Dakota. That is another really good push there, is to say, hey, these universities are offering scholarships to these girls. It's just a way to say, hey, if I compete in a pageant, UMD might have some extra scholarships for me.
Yeah, exactly. And all of these functions, aren't they all performed by volunteers?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Just volunteers asking, and even the people who do the local competitions, they're strictly volunteers. And one thing I love about this organization too is that, I haven't met a single person in this organization that isn't about building up other people. And
exactly.
It shows in everything that they do. I think it's amazing, whether it be scholarships or just talking to them after competition or whatever. They're all about building each other up. And it seems like the board of directors that you guys have, they will help you personally with scholarships if you ask.
Oh, yeah.
They will help you personally with any appearances. They will, they'll go above and beyond to help you get your needs met.
Oh, absolutely.
And help you be your best self, essentially.
Absolutely.
And to help you reach your greatest potential.
And that's why, I say I take such, care in preserving the legacy of the organization, because as cheesy as that sounds, there's so many people who have put in so much work to even just make this the sizable organization that it is in our state. And we want to keep that going, because we've seen so many people volunteer hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours and pour into this organization and pound the pavement essentially to look for sponsorships or partnerships, or even applying to become a 501c3 organization, which we've had that in place for quite some time, but even that is a large task. And all of the people on the board and all the local directors, everyone is volunteer. And I think sometimes when you are volunteering, it's because that organization or that, end result is so important to you that you're just willing to just do as much work because it's important, it's quality, something that you are proud to be a part of. So you're kind of willing to put in that extra work for it. And volunteerism is just something that's so, so important. And it's such a great quality that I feel is such a North Dakota quality to be a passionate volunteer, I think, too.
Right. And there's so much joy in it. And there's so much joy in, especially with the pageant, there's so much joy in seeing the girls push themselves into something that they didn't know that they were capable of.
Exactly.
And I guess that's my favorite part of the competition is you go in there and you may not know what to expect, and you may not be fully sure of yourself, but you go out there and you do it anyways, and you learn how to push yourself in such a positive way. There's a lot of negative ways that people get pushed into doing things. So it's really
Right.
cool for me to see girls or women getting pushed in such a beautifully positive way into doing things that will serve them the rest of their lives.
And that's something, too, that I think when you have maybe a naysayer of a pageant or someone who doesn't understand it, the biggest thing I can say is go watch a local or go watch the state and listen to the words that are coming out of these young women's mouths, when they're answering their onstage questions or when they're talking about their community service initiatives and why those are important to them. When you're reading off their list of accomplishments, it's the girls, it's the young women in the organization who are incredibly talented and who have done so many things. And it's those girls being brave enough to get on stage and to speak what's important to them. That's the number one thing I think that makes people go, oh, wow. This organization's a force to be reckoned with because these young women are a force to be reckoned with, and they're being supported to the highest level to be able to speak their passions out and to perform their passions. And it's just really, really great to see someone through the years who maybe they started as a little sister, which is grade school age, up through 6th, 7th grade, who might have been really shy, but they stick with it because they love the organization. And by the time they're a miss, you're like, that girl's going to be Miss North Dakota one day. Or they have just worked from the time they were little at something that they love to do.
Right. I agree wholeheartly. I just love how the organization keeps them on track, and it really gives them a voice. When you're in school and at home and you're young, you might not always feel like your voice matters. You might not always be in the greatest position where you feel like you're able to voice your opinion and be heard and make a difference. Or maybe there's some negativity in your town, because, small towns, we all know that happens sometimes. And whatever your community service initiative is, maybe it's not important to the people that surround you, but it's important to you. And this just gives them an opportunity and a literal stage to voice what matters to them. And that's really something. You don't see that every day.
That's what's so good about the organization and the areas of competition, because yes, we've talked about talent. Yes, they get to perform their chosen talent, but there's also several aspects that are interview related. Before the competition on stage starts, all of the girls do a private 10-minute interview with the judges, and 10 minutes is a long time.
It's a long time, and it can be so scary.
And you can be as prepared as possible, and you can get in that moment and freeze up or not know what to say, and you got to work through that. I think about my daughters oh my gosh, I wouldn't be in there to be like, no, say this, honey. They have to work through it themselves. And that is a skill. That is such a skill, especially for young girls. How do you work through a situation where maybe you're nervous and you don't know what to say, but you have to. You have to figure it out.
Right.
And the same thing happens on stage. Then you're asked on stage questions as well. And that can be even more, you're standing on stage with a bright light and a microphone and everyone's watching you.
And hundreds of people watching you.
You better not mess up what you say, but you have to figure out how to work yourself through this, because when you have to depend on yourself and you have to depend on your brain and understand that you are equipped, you do know what you're talking about. You do know the right thing to say.
Right. And trusting your intuition.
Yes. And that is so important too, because how many times in life are you going to, get put on the spot where you have to answer a question and you just have to be confident in yourself, and maybe you don't say exactly the right thing, but maybe you deliver it with confidence. There you go. It makes all the difference. So those interview skills really are something that lends very beautifully to these women as they grow up. For an example, we had a former Miss North Dakota, forever Miss North Dakota, was applying for a pretty hefty job. And she said they told her after, your interview was so fantastic like we couldn't not offer you this position. And she said, well, it's my Miss North Dakota training. It's my Miss America practice, So
Yeah,
it does. I
exactly.
mean,
I completely agree. Like, I feel like after you've done a 10-minute interview with a panel of judges and then answered questions on stage in front of hundreds of people, after doing that several times, I would imagine you could feel like you could do anything, right?
Exactly. Sometimes we do get into the stereotypes of pageants where, oh, there's a swimsuit competition and Miss America doesn't have a swimsuit competition any longer. But I can say from my day, when it was a swimsuit and you were in super high heels, I tell you what, nothing prepares you to do something like that, but nothing makes you feel more like you can conquer the world than when you had the gut to walk on stage in a swimsuit and high heels in front of people and be like, hello, here I am. I feel great about myself. Look at my confidence. I tell you what, if you can do something like that, there's probably not much you can't do.
I love that.
In recent years, the swimsuit competition has gone away. And I agree, that does make sense. And we really need to focus on building girls' brains up. And we're now partnered with Rebel Athletic, which is a national business, national athletic, where that does a lot with cheerleading, dance teams, dance competition. But they also have this big message of like Rebel against bullying is their big national campaign. So being partnered with them, the girls do a fitness wear essentially, where they are modeling, but they're in tennis shoes. They're not in heels. There's different options. There's like 3 or 4 different pants options, from long pants, capris, a skirt, shorts, to a t-shirt, a tank top, a sports bra, like a little cute little jacket that goes over. Yeah, we're going to kind of focus on health and wellness, but you're going to pick what you're going to wear. And really, it's all about your confidence in walking out there. And
Right. And it's
we
about
do,
defining your style, like defining what your
yes.
style is and how you feel the most confident and what makes you feel the best about yourself.
Yeah.
And
And so
what,
when people go out kind of want to take a negative look at pageants because, oh, you're so beauty focused or you're so, appearance focused, but, we're giving the option of what makes you feel the best.
right.
Because, okay, we're going to do this health and wellness, but you're going to pick what you're going to wear. We're going to play a voice recording of yourself, and we want to know, what does wellness mean to you? What is important about wellness? Is it your mind? Is it feeling mentally in the best state that you can be? Is it doing a yoga class? Is it running a marathon? Is it just taking time to make sure your mental wellness is in check? So I can see where people can still put that judgment on, the Miss America pageant. But really, if you really look at it, you really look at what they're wearing, what they're saying, what that portion of the competition is meant to be, you can really get a pretty good sense of, no, it's meant to empower you and to make you feel better about putting your message out there.
Right. I feel like it's an incredibly well-rounded competition. You're focusing on really all aspects of your life that light you up. And that's what everybody's looking for in life anyways. And you're just highlighting them and giving women scholarships for being their best selves. And there's nothing more beautiful. I think that's so amazing.
Right. Yeah. It's just a great organization to be a part of. And I would really encourage people to watch a pageant or to honestly just try one. Because I feel like once you do one,
you're hooked after you do one.
Yeah, it's like you said, like you might go into it being like, I have no idea like what's going to happen or how this is going to go. And this is very unknown to me. But it's like once you do one, once you're in it, then you're like, okay, I've done this. I've kind of put myself out there. And now that I've tried it, I'm able to kind of go back and decide, okay, this is how I want to present myself in talent. This is how I want to speak in my interview. And it's really up to the young woman, to the girl within it to determine how much they want to put into it. Like, am I doing this because I want to go to Miss America or go to Miss America's teen and I'm going to prepare myself because I want that national title holder experience and that's really important to me? That's great. Prepare yourself that way. There are girls who go into it and say, I want to be this ambassador for the state of North Dakota. I want to share my community service. I want to share about this organization. I want to talk to as many kids as I can. I want to push myself into just speaking in front of more people or seeing if I can get to as many communities in the state. Then, you prepare yourself that way. It's really up to the young woman who steps into the organization to say, what do I want from this? Because this organization will give you back so many things. So what do you want it to give back to you? And to kind of make that plan and that assessment for yourself, and to just go out there, and all you can do is try, right? All you can do is try.
I really like how you explain that. It can be whatever it is you want it to be. You just have to really look within yourself to see what you want to be. What would you say to those young women that are on the fence, maybe looking at some other girls and being like, oh, she looks like she's having fun doing this. I don't think I could ever do something like that. What would you say to those girls?
Well, the number one thing I would say is don't ever sell yourself short, because you can do anything. Anyone can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to try it. But what's really great too within this organization is we see someone who's maybe on the fence, or who maybe doesn't really know maybe what they do for a talent. Maybe they're into sports. We got to find and connect them with a person within the organization that's going to be maybe like a mentor, like a helper. Local directors are great at that. Former title holders are great at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like putting them with a person and saying, hey, you're thinking about this. Let me hook you up with this person. I feel like you're going to relate to them and to their story and to their journey with it. And ask them your questions. Ask someone who's actually lived it. Let us help you. If someone comes to me, I'm going to say immediately, like, let's do it. Let's try it.
Right. Well, and that's just
And
you,
sometimes
Steph. That is
people are
just
like,
you.
"Oh,
You
I don't
will
know."
try everything.
Yeah. I feel like we do a really good job of putting people with people who will help them and guide them in a way that's best
and connecting
for them.
Yes, and connecting. And that's where everybody in the pageant world talks about sisterhood, or in this pageant world anyways, is they all talk about sisterhood. And I know that you have done a really great job in creating that and keeping it going as well. Like your Little Sister program this year, you matched their teen mentors up with little sisters with the same talent. And
I tried to do that just to kind of,
it breaks
it
the
gives
ice.
you something to kind of talk about. Yeah, exactly. And
it creates connection.
And so that's something, as our Little Sister program is growing as well, we have a lot of locals across the state have to max out, like, hey, we can't even take any more Little Sisters, because
that's
we've got
so awesome.
like 15 trying to be a Little Sister in this competition. And that's wonderful, but we can't have, 30 people in a one-day pageant,
right.
But to see that building, to see how many girls have been Little Sisters and then teen title holders and then Miss title holders, we're getting to kind of the spot where we have girls who are winning Miss North Dakota's teen, and then 4, 5, 6 years later, they're winning Miss North Dakota. That is amazing to me. We had one girl who was Miss North Dakota, and when she was a little sister, her little sister won Miss North Dakota. So she's like, this forever Miss North Dakota. I was her little sister the year she won Miss North Dakota. Now I'm Miss North Dakota. It's just,
that's really cool.
Those connections are endless. Yeah.
And it's lifelong.
Exactly.
They're lifelong connections. I love that. The teens had a little girls' night pajama party, and I had stayed for a few minutes and got to listen to them talk, and it was the cutest thing. They were talking about being in each other's weddings when they get older, and always keeping in touch and always coming back to the pageant just so that they can for sure see each other once a year. And that sisterhood, those are your friends who are going to show up for you.
Another thing that I love about them, social media has become so big too. And you see one of them post on their Instagram, like a picture of something they're doing within their title. And you see half of the girls down there with like fire emojis, like, yes, like queen, you're beautiful. Let's go, girl. You see that the entire year round. They're in their comments even supporting each other. And that's huge too.
It is. It is. It's so awesome to watch. I would consider volunteering for this because it makes your heart so big. I mean, it just keeps growing your heart to watch them and make those connections.
And even as, as the teen state director, I do try during the actual pageant week not to spend as much time with the teen girls. I have someone come in and teach them their routines because I don't want it to look like, oh, Steph put me in the front row because she wants me to win. I try to be a little cautious with that. But then when I hear stuff about them and I hear like how kind they are to each other, how kind they are to volunteers, stuff like you're saying, they're talking about being in each other's weddings so they can see each other. That makes me almost want to cry. That makes me so proud
of
these teenage girls who are doing a pageant together, which can be seen as such a not positive experience, but just like to see that and to hear that and to say, no, there's something different about this organization. And there's something different about the girls who do this organization. And man, I'm just so proud of them. And it makes me so proud to hear that they are putting out such positive vibes for everybody to see and such supportive vibes for everybody to see. Those are the girls that are they're going to do big things just because they know how to support each other.
Right. Well, and it's modeling behavior, right? We are most like the people that we spend time with and the adults that we surround ourselves with. Well, in this type of an organization, I mean, look at the types of adults you're surrounding yourself with, that you're choosing to surround yourself with. I mean, someone like you, like my daughter had a little bit of a breakdown during the pageant. And
sweet girl.
I know. And it's okay. I mean, we all have breakdowns when things aren't turning out. It happens. And it's best to learn how to deal with it and cope with it and get something good out of it. Right. And so she had her little breakdown, but every adult there was there for her and was patient with her and was kind and made her feel like she could still do it. And she went out there and she had the most sass of anybody.
Her life out there. She was living her best life. And you would have never known for a second that she maybe didn't feel confident a few hours prior.
Right. Exactly. But that is a testament of the adults that she's modeling. Right? Those are the great people.
And I don't think the organization doesn't run as well without those guys backstage who are, a retired music teacher from a small town in North Dakota, or those host moms who have been back year after year.
Oh my gosh.
Our moms,
they're so amazing.
And who understand. We got to take these girls away from their moms for a few hours and they got to go on stage and their moms aren't right there. Oh man. These ladies are like, nope, we've got it. We've got it.
And so many sewing dresses and fixing things and, for as expensive as gowns can be, sometimes they don't always hold up when you're in and out of them.
Yeah.
And they're making sure that everybody's and they're always making sure that everybody's self-esteem is on point.
Exactly. And I think that's so unique to Miss North Dakota, because literally without every single person in our village, it's not going to work as well. One of these beautiful host moms was moving away, and I said, well, that's fine. However, you must come back because we can't do this without you. Yes, you're a teen host mom for a day and a half, but this doesn't work without you. This doesn't work as well if you're not here. Every single person is important.
Yes. I could see that, I guess. It is really amazing. I love everything that you do.
thank you.
Yes. Thank you for welcoming us. And that's one other thing that the Miss North Dakota organization does really well is welcomes everybody with open arms and wants to see you succeed. So if there's any young women or young girls out there who are on the fence or maybe have self-esteem issues, come join us. Come join us. We want you.
Yeah. It might seem like the wildest thing that, maybe if you're nervous or you don't feel as confident about yourself, it might seem like the most opposite thing you should try. But it's really, really has so many benefits, so many wonderful qualities. There's no way that you cannot get something out of this. And maybe what you get out of this is that you learn, yep, I am not an onstage person, but man, I really enjoyed watching how the host moms act or watching, people run production or, do music. And I really enjoyed the behind the scenes aspect. Maybe being on stage isn't for me, but I tried it and now I know. Which rarely do I feel like girls say, hey, I've tried it once, not for me.
Mm-hmm.
But at least they tried it. At least they know. Yeah, I think it's just the number one thing is watch it, try it, talk to someone who's done it.
Yeah.
And see what it can do for you.
Yes. Excellent advice. Thank you so much, Steph, for this amazing conversation. We could not speak more highly of this program, and I thank you for all your time and effort that you put into this and taking the time to talk with me.
Absolutely. I really appreciate being able to talk about this because I love it so much and I want everybody to see it for what it is and to love it the way that the organization should be loved and should be perceived by the public. So
Yes. Well, and we are doing our best to do that. And if you like this episode with Steph, stay tuned for a further podcast where we talk to Steph about also being a farm wife.
Oh, yes.
Just as we know on this podcast, Just a Farm Wife, we know that no one is ever just a farm wife. We are multifaceted, amazing humans. Stay tuned for the next episode with Steph. And
oh, yes, absolutely. Can't wait. My other favorite thing to talk about, pageants and farm life.
I love it. You're such a wonderful person. Thank you so much. And stay tuned for the next episode of Just a Farm Wife. And always remember that you are never just an anything. Thank you for listening to today's episode. And remember, you are never just an anything.